Hello, everyone, once again for Disney Compendium, Volume 10, the 1948 quote unquote classic uh,
Uh, uh,
melody
Mid tug and
time.
like, ugh.
Color time, yeah, yeah, melody time. Another package feature like we've been doing for the past several weeks. And, uh, phew, I am your host, JJ, and over there on the other end of the tin can and string is my buddy Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Great. I'm a shadowy figure today, so
Yeah, you
I
can't,
uh,
you
I
can't see this, but Nick has his. We're recording this over video chat, and
yeah,
it's unsettling. It's just it's like I'm being interrogated.
yeah.
I don't like
I'm a
it.
I'm a dark silhouette, so I apparently won the triple threat at WrestleMania 20.
It was a strong. It was a tough match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and neither of them came out on top.
Nope, noob Cybot.
But yeah, oh boy, where do you begin with Melody Time?
Can we just
It's
end with Melody Time?
yeah, geez, this is the end of the series. I can't go on one more. Uh, it is
Like,
just. Oh yeah,
this is like our spirit breaking gauntlet right now.
yeah. This is like yeah, it's our gauntlet. It's exactly like that new Mystery Science Theater that came out. Six movies back to back, bad movies. Can you make it through it? Are you bad enough, dude, to make it through?
Are you bad enough, dude, to rescue Cinderella?
Oh boy, it is just this one is I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily because of how good last week's was, or if it's a
Hmm.
combination of this is just bad and it makes it worse, or if it's just flat out miserable regardless of what we've been watching and knowing what we're about to watch and things like. But I this was the least fun I've had, and I've never seen this before, so there was something, at least a minor bit of excitement for it. But
And you and I know, have seen bits and pieces. Like we've seen, there I am. We've seen some shorts from it before, but not the
yeah,
whole thing, not
yeah,
the whole cohesive thing.
the full uh, thorough narrative that they're plotting out with
Jeez.
this thing.
I will
Um,
say this: there was no Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen, so at
yes,
least there was none of that.
yes. You replace him with Roy Rogers and Trigger.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, it is seven short subjects. Like they're not even tied together. They're just like
No, I
yeah,
would say the only cohesion is Pecos Bill and Johnny Appleseed, since they're both tall tales, and
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. And like even in between stories, they didn't really try to do anything to sort of wrap them together or
No.
anything. Like yeah, it's yeah, it's boy, it just was out the gate. It was like this is bad, and it never like there's never really a bright moment like where you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, all right, I could see. Like if they put this on another compilation or something, you'd be like, yeah, all right, this fits in like this or something. But no, like even at its best, it's still mediocre. It's it's rough, and I guess we just start going down the line of the shorts in order of how they were on here. And out the gate, you have Once Upon a Winter Time.
Yeah. Once upon a what a
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I don't know why they can't start these with something to grab your interest, because this isn't the first time they've done it on these compilations.
No,
And it's just like a weird musical love story set in like a dreary, wintry, um, you know, art style, and uh, it's just it's boring. Like it's not even like captivating animation at all either.
no. It looks like it was kind of the animation style when I looked at it. it almost looks like a kid's picture book from the 50s, and they decided
Yeah,
to animate it.
yeah, yeah. Which is saying a lot since this is from the 40s. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay, a bad kid's chick picture book from the 50s.
yeah, yeah. It's very clearly like, and a lot of these feel this way. Like you can tell, like these were made when the studio didn't have a whole lot of money going on. Like clearly, these were made. Most of these were made during World War II.
Yeah.
And like when they were just kind of trying to like, okay, we got to be ready when the war's over and we can finally start getting back to making movies. Here we go. Um, but like, because they all feel half cooked.
Yeah.
Like even the Tall Tale
This
ones, which are the best on here, feel like incomplete in a way. Like given some time and money, they could have fleshed them out a little better.
or they
There's
should have been
also
a
a
part of
reason for
something
that in the
else. Yeah.
version we watched for Pecos Bill. There's some funniness that went on with that in the home video releases of it. So
This the first one kind of continues a weird trend we've seen over the last couple of weeks of female animal characters being they're just totally like animal nude, but except for a bow.
yeah, yeah, that was really uh like a thing. Like it was just like that was a popular style of art. Like
It's a girl because it has a bow.
yeah, yeah, and that's like the only yeah. It's a weird yeah, it's a weird little thing that they really went all in on and didn't they? Like
Yeah, I don't. Can we get to the plot of this? I guess.
I guess I mean well yeah, you cover that because it's not
Guy and a girl are skating, and then girl faints, and the ice breaks, and she's gonna go down a waterfall, and he's useless and gets falls into a snowdrift, and horses save her life.
yeah.
The end.
Yeah, that's the story of this, and it is the most absurd little like it's a love story, but like there's no love.
I, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know I assume it's children, but like, if I'm a kid and if I see this, like, uh,
Yeah,
I'm bored.
Walt will tell you himself uh, in these days when he was making pictures, no matter what, that he wasn't like even with the theme park and stuff. It's like I'm not making a kids movie. I'm not making a kids park or something. He's making a movie, and it's not for kids can enjoy it, but so can adults. And uh, none of these feel like there's a consistent like these package ones don't feel like they have a target audience like even family because it will split a family pretty well. It's like, well, this is my favorite part of the movie, and Junior likes Pecos Bill because it's got the guns and and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
Like
the target audience maybe coma patients. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
It's just wheel them in.
yeah, just yeah, like it's like Rainy Day Recess is the target audience for this movie. Like
I don't know. Like, think of your teacher say, "Hey, if you've seen this before," and your teacher's like, "Hey, do you want to watch this or this Nat Geo documentary about beavers?"
yeah,
I'm picking the beavers.
yeah, I mean, between like at the time too, like Disney was like we're not too far away from like the nature nature documentaries. Like I'd rather
Right.
watch those fake
A-
faked nature documentaries that Disney is doing.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so out the gate, real bad, real bad.
Yep. Swing and
Uh,
a miss, right? Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Then the next one is Bumble Boogie.
A little bit better.
Little bit better. You know, like like yeah, a jazz version of Flight of the Bumblebee, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was originally. This is why this one's a little better because it was originally one of the Fantasia potentials. Like it was going to be one of the roadshow ones. Like this may make it to the movie. We may put it in later when we re show it and stuff. So that's why it has a bit better, a little more cohesive than some of the others. It feels more fleshed out for it being so small.
So let me ask you a question. There is a live action sequence in here.
There is.
Is that Carmen Miranda's sister again?
I don't.
It looks just like her.
Yeah, no, it's not, but it very
I,
well could have been.
I,
There's actually
I
there's a couple of live action segments in this.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that one particular, like, is that same girl whose only claim to fame is Saludos Amigos?
um, um, what was that? Oh yeah, so yeah, there's nothing to talk about for Bumble Boogie. It's about a little uh Bumblebee fighting off music, essentially. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
uh,
just it's a delivery system for music. Like it feels like a Fantasia thing. Like it is sort of a visual representation of the music. It's like a Winamp visualizer for the song.
it's funny is I'd actually seen Bumble Boogie years and years ago when I was a kid, but not in this way. So Disney Channel, when it first launched, used to show like music videos set to
Yeah,
old
yeah,
clips from, and they had Bumble Boogie set to "The Heart of Rock and Roll" by Huey Lewis and the News.
yeah.
And
Oh
I
boy.
kind of prefer that one.
I keep wanting to call Bumble Boogie Buck Bumble, and uh, that's for nobody. For the people that don't know, that's old. What, Nintendo 64, right? That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Now this set to the Buck Bumble theme song. Now that's a video I want to cut.
It's funny. It's you want to call it Bug Bumble, but it's more Space Station Silicon Valley.
Yeah, yeah. Then after, so there's not much to talk about. It's a fun little short. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
one of
Fly
the
the
more
Bumblebee.
yeah, it's Flight of the Bumblebee, and it's just like I said, it's a music visualizer. It feels like it was originally supposed to, like, considered for Fantasia, and it feels like it. It feels like it's just an extension of that. It just unfortunately found its way into this, as opposed to maybe sit on it for a few decades and shove it in the 2000 or something.
Or
um,
just or I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Then after that, you get the Legend of Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, and that's the one I'd actually see. One of the few I'd seen going into this.
Yeah, yeah, I'd seen this one beforehand too, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a sort of musical retelling of Johnny Appleseed, and it's the best on here on this whole
Hmm.
compilation.
It is, and so when I was watching it a few days ago, the animation style, it looks like we're going to get to Ichabod and Toad here pretty
Yeah,
shortly,
yeah,
but the animation is very much Ichabod if you look at it.
yeah. They were making these movies at the same time too,
Yeah.
because as we were talking about last week when we were doing Mickey and the Beanstalk, they had um, the two fun characters, whatever the original working title of that was. And so, these two were being worked on pretty much simultaneously. So it doesn't surprise me that that's where they were for their like actual short subject animations, like that being like their style at the time. Um, I don't know. They do a bad job at sort of breaking down who the artists were on these compilations because credits weren't really important at this
Huh.
time. So I don't know, with the exception of like unless it's somebody huge, you don't really. I don't really know who particularly worked on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if like it was at least like storyboarding or something being the same people that worked on Ichabod.
Yeah. Or maybe was it Hannah?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you had that, but no. Like, so Javacy is the best of the lot,
yeah.
but man, the
But
content is
that's
way
still,
out.
yeah, yeah. That's still like it being the best of the lot still makes it worse than pretty much most Disney short subjects you've seen. Like it's it's just real weak like storytelling for this thing, and the music's not particularly interesting. Um, I think the one thing that I was most interested in is that it had just Chip from Chip and Dale. is
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
it's still in the little apple pies.
Yeah, for the exploit, like it's the
Yeah,
same character, it reacts the same. There's no
yeah,
Dale, but it's clearly Chip.
it's Chip. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But the whole premise is like, hey, I want to go be a pioneer, so I'm going to trip out these apples until an angel appears.
yeah, yeah,
I wonder if he was
yeah.
smoking the same apple as Goofy.
This just got it from the How to Be a Gaucho.
Yeah, he's smoking that same apple.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So yeah, a ghost visits him and sings him a song about all the good things, a Forrest Gump style, all the good things you could do with apples.
also oddly religious.
Yeah,
Like
like
really religious.
yeah, like telling him like, hey, you got your book, and hands him the Bible.
Well, even the song is "The Lord is good to me."
Yeah, and it's weird to see like a cartoon character age. It's not something you're
Yeah,
particularly used to unless it's like a comedy bit where it's just like it looks like the same character, but they just drew a big long white beard on them or something. I mean, that's what they did. They went from
yeah,
young kid to black, having a black fully grown beard, to having a white fully grown beard. And they didn't change his general design at all, so he just looks like a young kid with a fake beard on.
and especially like the way it ends is like, hey, he just dies in his sleep,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he leaves his mortal husk behind for all his animal friends to pick at
yeah.
while he goes up to heaven,
Well, he does have
planting
to,
apple seeds.
yeah, and implying that he's planting the seeds in heaven still, which I don't think they need apple trees. I think they're good. I think,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. So, it's like I have a special fondness for this one, so I can't make fun of it too much.
yeah,
But it being a standout is should tell you a lot about this
yeah.
short.
That's a very striking segment if you've ever seen Johnny Appleseed. That like this is the
Yeah.
best one. Oh dear. Then after Johnny Appleseed, things get real dark with Little Toot,
little little toot.
The little tugboat. Um, it's beautiful. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love the animation. I
It's
think it was adapted from like a Golden Book or something like that, maybe.
yeah, it's or Golden Book adjacent,
Yeah,
like the
but it
same
has that
kind
same
of
kind of art style. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's about a little tugboat and doing his tugboat thing and almost dying, uh, uh,
Yeah.
and like
Responsible for the death of millions,
oh yeah,
thousands maybe.
yeah. This tugboat is when do you get to call him a terrorist? Like and it's the
Chic
Andrews
tugboat.
sisters. Yeah, and it's the
Chic
Andrews
tug.
sisters singing the entire thing. Like there isn't like normal dialogue. It's just all the Andrews singer. It's Andrews sisters like singing the story.
Yeah. I mean, there's never been a more hapless tugboat since Fred Ottman.
That's a good deep cut joke for you.
Went out to the boneyard and got that one out for you. So he basically little toot makes a mistake and sends the ocean liner into New York City
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good times.
and gets exiled
Yeah,
to a
yeah,
hell dimension.
yeah. It's boy, and the music like gets upsetting.
Yeah. Like these buoys take on these angry demonic faces and go,
Yeah,
bad boy. But Andrew's sister's chanting, bad boy,
it feels
bad boy.
there's moments where it feels like a 70s Italian horror movie. Like
Dario Argento's little toot.
it's the fourth movie in his witch trilogy that he did. Uh, but yeah, I mean but like the water effects and stuff all look really good.
Yeah.
Like it's terrible, but it looks beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's one of the better. It is one of the better animated on this film. So I'll
Yeah,
give it that.
yeah. I mean, it's way better than the next one on the list, which was Trees.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. When you saw this one, Were you just waiting for Kirby to show up and spit an apple into one of their eyes?
It's in my mind. That's I had to start making my own fun because I just
Where's Kirby?
yeah, it was just I don't remember much of it. Like I was so zoned out during.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I was playing Pokemon Go, like in my house.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
It does have like it has probably one of the more interesting like production things going on for it in the sense where they did a new style of sort of animation for it
yeah,
where they used frosted cells. Like um, they took the cells and then like put lacquer on it to protect the pastel artwork and stuff on it, and they frosted them, and they just kind of made a very like a cool design, but like that can't save it. It was it's an animation set to a poem.
well, I mean, you think about if you want to watch a good Disney tree short, isn't there like a silly symphony about trees?
Yeah,
That's way better than this
like
one.
yeah, like or like the old windmill or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, I would take any nature themed silly symphony over trees. This one just feels like it was like an animator just, and that's basically what happened with a lot of these was it was just sort of like Walt wasn't overwatching overlooking them very much, so he
Walt was a Mercy. He played Mercy.
yeah uh, but he wasn't he just sort of let the animators do their own thing for the most part. Like, and this feels like one of those. This feels like, well, I like this poem a lot, so I wonder if there's any meat on these bones. And there is not, but they
Nope.
still did it.
So in conclusion, trees was wooden and didn't go anywhere.
There you go, bada bang. Um,
Hey.
and then after trees, we get visited by some good old friends of ours.
Well, yeah. Well, one of our friends, and then his
His obnoxious
once my friend,
stereotype friend.
his friend that you're like, oh, I got to hang out with him too if I want to hang out with Donald.
Yeah, it's like
You know
like
that.
my mom said that if we're gonna hang out, I have to bring my brother with me. So here he is.
It's Joe Karaoke.
Yeah, blame it on the samba. Another Latin America themed short in a package feature starring Donald Juck, Donald Donald Duck, and Joe Karaoke. So it's
And a blatant Woody Woodpecker ripoff.
oh boy, was it! I don't know when was Woody Woodpecker. I don't know when he was created.
I don't know. I feel like
Now
probably around the same time. Yeah.
you would think. Now I've got to look it up to see
All
because
right.
Woody Allen. No, thank you. I know when he was.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's 1940. So
It's a
here you
good
go.
7 years of.
So absolutely. So it's absolutely just Woody Woodpecker.
Yep.
But it's just
You
the
know,
samba. I
it's
mean,
just a samba.
yeah, there's nothing to it's Donald Duck and Joe doing the thing they've been doing 2 movies in a row that we already saw. It's like this is like a deleted scene that they just shoved into the middle of this thing. Well, it's not even the middle. We're almost over with this thing at this point.
It kind of does, but like it just got chopped from like El Saludos or Three Caballeros, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and they're just like, this is boring. This we gotta cut something out of it. And then they found it. Yeah.
It's like the CNN doomsday footage. It's just like don't open it. Nope.
Yeah. It's just it's there's nothing to talk about with this. It is just a samba. It's like a live action segment with Donald Duck and Joe
Yep.
they're doing the thing that we've seen them do multiple times that we didn't like the first couple of times we saw it.
So here's more of it.
Yeah. And we're not obviously we're so far removed from the 1940s that maybe that was just I mean, it clearly was popular since Saludos and Three Caballeros were popular and did well. But boy, not for us now. Like
No.
I can find some pleasure in a lot of the old like black and white Mickey Mouse shorts and stuff. Like a good joke is still a good joke, but like this isn't even a good joke. It's just a samba, and like dancing themed music has been done before this and after this and better. So
Do you think maybe they felt the pressure because at the time the big thing was musicals in Hollywood, the live action features
oh, and
was musicals, and they felt like, oh, we got to do this.
yeah, we got to do this, and this is already sort of where they. I mean, that's their bread and butter was music always, anyways. So I mean, it's like we don't have a lot of money to just put into um, a full length feature. On top of that, we're like a musical company for the most part, and musicals are what is getting money. So it was the only option for them really if they wanted money. So
Yeah, and but it just felt like so uninspired, and I hate to be a downer on almost every episode as of late, but good grief,
yeah, well, at least we really, really both enjoyed last week's Fun
we
and
did. We did,
Fantastic.
and again, going back, I liked Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah,
It was fine. It
yeah.
was just
The final segment after Blame It on the Samba is Pecos Bill.
yes, and Return of Luana Patton
Yeah,
after escaping from Edgar Bergen's basement,
yeah. It's Atlanta
run to the
Patton.
wild.
Yeah, she was able to get free, and now she's living in Texas. Uh,
Apparently,
and
Roy Rogers is her uncle now.
yeah, and Bobby Driscoll is there too.
Yep.
He was also from Song of the South. Um, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's the story of Pecos Bill set to Roy Rogers music. Like it's pretty
And the
good,
Sons of
but
Pioneers.
yeah,
It's all right. I mean,
it's racist. I mean,
it is racist, but it's also just
but it's also
it's silly.
yeah, yeah. You can't help but like tug your collar and go, "Ooh, I hope nobody heard me listening to that." When he's chasing the Redskins around and he scares their face paint off, and that's how we got the painted mountains. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh boy,
Well, kind of an observation here. So we got two tall tales in this
yeah,
film, and
yeah,
it's what stinks is of all the tall tale shorts they've done, and I'm not counting John Henry on the
yeah.
Disney Pixar thing. Paul Bunyan is easily the best of the bunch, and it's
Yeah,
not on here, and it should
it's
have
not in
been.
here. And yeah, and the next movie that we're gonna do is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, and they are like they're not thematically they're not similar, but at least they're pieces of classic literature. So there's theming at least there.
Yeah,
Like you're so close to having a theme here. If you would have just like because they do these things, and they've done Paul Bunyan and they've done stuff like they've done other tall tales before, but like
and Paul
I feel
Bunyan's
like
right around this same period, right? He was
yeah,
a Silly Symphony around the same period.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine like a short like just do Casey the Bat, Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, and Pecos Bill?
Yeah,
There's your movie.
yeah. It's a good it's a good short. It's not great. It's the weakest of all of them. Pecos Bill, raised by coyotes, becomes the best cowboy of all time.
Pecos Bill is basically the Fonz in this thing.
Yeah,
He's just like defying the laws of nature.
until his horse screws up one of his acts of do-gooding, and it ruins him.
Well, to be fair, like I felt bad for the horse.
Yeah.
So Slewfoot Sue had it coming.
um, yeah, I mean it's fine. I
Yeah,
liked
it's
it. We didn't get to see, and I didn't really dig too deep. But they censored the hell out of this in later years. He did a lot of smoking, and you can see sometimes where they edited the cigarettes out of his hands and stuff.
mm.
and other times where they just have to cut out scenes altogether because you can't change it. Um,
The version you and I watched was like a VHS copy from 1997, I think.
yeah, yeah, I have it on DVD, but I found archive.org had the VHS rip of this. And I was like, that seems like the funnest way to watch this.
Yeah, and by the way, if you guys are interested in it, perfectly legal way to go watch it.
It's on archive.org.
It's on archive. Go watch it,
Yeah.
but
But
don't go watch it.
yeah, don't watch this one. They have better ones. Fun and Fancy Free is on there. Watch that instead. If you're gonna watch one of these most recent ones.
They also have a lot of those Disney sing-alongs. Watch one of those.
But like, there's like an entire like tornado scene that got cut out of the movie because he was smoking and stuff. It's like, it's like he lights a cigarette with a lightning bolt.
So he is the Fonz.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely the Fonz in this. He's Cowboy Fonz. Cowboy Fonzarelli.
Pecos
Fonzarelli.
Pecos Fonzarelli. Hey! So when I watched this, all I could think of was the Disney's Tall Tales live action film with Patrick Swayze as Pecos Bill, which was better than this, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But so yeah, that's the movie. It ends with Pecos Bill, and it was a big story. It was not a big, like, it was the biggest one on there because even at the time, like, cowboys were the biggest thing.
Roy Rogers was a big deal at the time.
Roy Rogers, like, this is Roy Rogers in a Disney movie is a big deal.
Yeah,
and it's you can absolutely tell that this would have been absolutely the best thing. Like, kids would have been going just to see the Roy Rogers cartoon.
Yeah.
In the Disney movie, and you can never change that. Like, that stuff, we're so far removed from that sort of era. Like, cowboys are different for us now than it was for kids. Like, when we want the cowboys that we love and enjoy in the modern era are different. Like, it's not the Tall Tale style cowboys; it's the spaghetti western, cowboys.
Or the Tombstone cowboy for me particular.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Just, it's such a shame that, like, this is where Disney was in this era, because functionally this movie's not that different than Fantasia.
No,
it's producing the same type of story that it is. It's just missing virtually all of the heart. Like you could tell that there's not a lot of, like, attention being paid to some of these things, and you could tell that it really is just an ends to a means, or means to an ends. I flipped that around a little bit, but, like, you could tell we just need money and we need it now. We've talked about this the last several weeks, and I mean, it was very financially successful. Most of these were, and it was popular when it came out. Like, it got mostly decent reviews.
I mean, I'm not surprised they were popular because we've seen a trend where, like, they're just pretty much just roping in these special guest stars to, like, narrate or do or sing, and so if you're a fan of one of those musicians, you're probably going to go see this.
Yeah.
Because television isn't a thing yet, or not widely distributed.
Yeah. So look, it is what it is. It has a place in history. And I think it's worth watching just once for the sake of checking it off the list, but you'll never go back to it.
No.
If you've seen it once, you've seen it enough.
Yeah, and you might go back and watch Pecos Bill or Johnny Appleseed piecemeal, because those are out. Those are floating around on YouTube, and you can go watch them right now.
And they've been released on other things and later compilations and stuff.
But it's unremarkable, I guess, is the word I would
But
use.
Like, even then, like, given your druthers, you should there's a dozen different shorts that Disney has worked on that you should pick out before that. And like, most of the silly symphonies, like, and that's what I always fall back on when I'm watching these packages, because most of them are just silly symphonies that aren't as sort of fleshed out for the most part, which is sad because they're in theatrical format. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it may not have the Andrews sisters
yeah,
or whoever, but it's still good.
but like the Three Little Pigs is 10,000 times better than pretty much anything that has been in any of these package pictures.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Like we were talking about Paul Bunyan
Skeleton
earlier.
King, or like with the old windmill or what, things like
Yeah.
that. Like, they're all way better than everything that's been on these.
Yeah. And again, we were talking about Paul Bunyan earlier. Paul Bunyan's amazing.
Yeah, it is the tall tales. Like, there's two tall tales on this movie, and the Paul Bunyan one is infinitely better,
Hey Paul,
exponentially better.
Paul Bunyan. I still know that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I never want to see this again. Like, I
You never want
have,
to see all of it again.
yeah. I don't even know if I would like. I would never go out of my way to see any of these. Like, even if I do like Johnny Appleseed and I've seen it before, I would pick out any Disney short subject anything before Johnny Appleseed or Pecos Bill. Like, I never want to see them again. I don't. I'm not calling them necessarily bad, but they're so much better from this studio.
Yeah, we're coming up on a point where things get really good, so it's kind of
Yeah,
the comparison's very stark.
yeah.
Put it that way.
Next week when we get into Ichabod and Mr. Toad, those are great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Ichabod's one of my favorites.
yeah, spoiler alert, those are great.
Those are
Uh,
great.
yeah, um, and it doesn't, like, it has minor impact like afterwards, um, because like the shorts sort of um, uh, lived on afterwards, because that's, I mean, they're short subjects that they didn't have any connective tissue, so you could easily just pluck them out and put them in other things, and like we talked earlier, Bumble Boogie was a massive hit outside of the movie.
So let me ask you a question, and this is me maybe speculating, but there's a period of time when Disney became famous for, hey, we have Phil Collins doing the songs for this movie, or Elton John doing the songs for The Lion King.
Yeah,
Do you think this is kind of where the genesis of that we're going to get this big name singer to sing and narrate over this animated feature? Like maybe it came from that, and
I
if
mean,
nothing else, that's a legacy of these movies.
it certainly is. I mean, it takes a little bit for that to really become a thing again. Uh, but like, it was definitely, Walt definitely gave them a little more freedom to have that be a thing, because Walt was very traditionalist. Obviously, he was very
Right.
um, nostalgic. So contemporary wasn't ever on his mind. um,
It
so
didn't come back around again till see after Ichabod. So we got Bing Crosby next week with Ichabod.
yes,
And it isn't so we don't have like a actual like singer until what, like Pearl Bailey and Fox and the Hound, maybe.
I think so, because yeah, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah,
Without doing the necessary research, but
just off the top of my head.
yeah, but uh, like, and I guess the little Toot cartoon was like absolutely just a smash hit by itself when they re-released it. Like, massive hit. It made it on the TV show. Like,
Wonderful World of Disney. Yeah, I did.
yeah. Um, and we usually go through the whole like hit song thing, and not really
Yeah,
hit. I mean, the songs are popular, but none of them really ever, like, if they're like the ones that have lyrics or like folk songs, so it's not really fair. Like, old folk tales and stuff, and the other ones are just narratives, songs of previous stories. So it's not like When You Wish Upon a Star. Like, the songs are popular, but it wasn't. It's a little tricky of a subject. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it wasn't like super
yeah,
memorable, I guess.
yeah. Um, there was no reason for it to have legs. There was no reason for there to be like a hit album, because like the music is so intrinsically tied to the animation that's going on. Like it's a story. After a point, it just becomes a storybook without the cartoon. Um,
Oh, and just research. Little Two was adapted from a 1939 book.
yeah. Okay. So
So they're in this that which it kind of makes sense if you look at it.
yeah, it feels like it feels like a little engine that could kind of story.
Yes,
Casey Jr. kind of. Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, theme park wise, there's references. Um, there's a Pecos Bill restaurant thing going on at Disney World.
Okay, I didn't know
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah, um, there's a Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe
Do you
with
think
it.
it's based off this or the live action film?
The, I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
No, like I just want to know how directly involved Patrick Swayze was in that
Yeah.
cafe. We
Um,
need to put a screaming gorilla in this corner here. Damn it,
and
Swayze!
but yeah, and there's like a pair of gloves like from Slew Foot Sue in at the theme park, and Blame It on the Samba is featured in a mural um, at the World of Disney store, and that's and there's script stuff at one of the hotels. It's all at Disney World. Like it's very isolated to Disney World. There's not much at Disneyland. Um,
So
but
not a big legacy.
yeah,
It doesn't
not a
leave
huge
behind a lot.
legacy. Like it's more like a legacy for the fans. And to put this movie in context, it came out in 1948, uh, and the biggest movie of the year in 1948 was a movie called The Red Shoes. Uh, it's a Hans Christian Andersen story adapted to film. Uh,
Never seen it.
yeah, I, I, I've, I haven't, but I know exactly what the movie is. Um, Not Red Shoe Diaries, Nick.
I wasn't going to say it. I was waiting on you.
But also The Three Musketeers was another huge movie that year. Treasure of
Yeah.
the Sierra Madre, 1948.
Okay, that one I have seen. That one.
Red River was
Okay, yeah.
1948. So, uh, yeah, it's and I feel like there was, we're getting close to Disney ramping it up again.
Yeah,
So,
they're taking their plan of a nosedive, Hulk Hogan.
yeah, yeah. So we're lucky with that. But because next week we're going to get into the wrap up here, um, is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah, I'm genuinely excited for that.
Genuinely excited. It's a great movie. I can't wait to kind of dive into it. And it's also the last package picture.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like unless you count Fantasia 2000 in a couple of decades after this movie, but
Yeah, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to
like
it.
after this, they go back to single subject fairy tale style stories. So, and even at their worst, a lot of them are better than a lot of this stuff. So,
Yep,
I know
absolutely.
you will disagree on a couple of things, but
Nah, I mean, oh yeah, there's one or two I actually just don't like,
yeah,
but that's less to do with the animation than the music. Phil Collins.
it's but yeah. So join us for that one. That one's going to be a hoot. I can't wait. Uh, and we're off to the races. We're gonna be hitting some great movies after that. So
Oh, we
some
gotta rank this guy, don't we?
we got. Oh yeah, let's.
Gotta rank it.
I gotta rank it. I gotta bring up my list again. Sorry, this is gonna be. We'll just talk amongst yourself, Nick. Give the people some improv.
So, you guys ever notice how, like, when you're flying in an airplane and the guy
All
sitting
right,
next to you is
thanks
like,
everyone for your time,
yeah,
Nick. I'm glad you came in, and
Tip your
Hope you come
waitress.
back again soon. So
Okay.
here we go. Got the list here. All right, Nick. I'm just going to start at the top of your list,
Uh,
and I know this is gonna. I know we're going to be doing this for several in a row. So,
yeah.
better or worse than Dumbo?
Worse than Dumbo.
Fantasia,
Worse than Fantasia.
Fun and Fancy Free,
Worse than Fun and Fancy Free.
Pinocchio,
Worse than Pinocchio.
Snow White,
Worse than Snow White.
Bambi,
Worse than Bambi.
Three Caballeros.
I'm gonna say it's better than Three Caballeros.
And it's better than Three Caballeros.
Yeah.
Insert a row above and type in Melody Time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Fun
Melody.
and melody free song.
Make
The
mine fun and
make,
melody.
yeah, the titles run together too. Like
Yeah.
when we're talking about these like in
Yeah.
text, I'm like
Yes.
melody
Yeah.
free time for
Oh,
melody.
I even in the weeks heading up to this run of movies and stuff, Melody Time and Make My Music. I could not remember which one was which.
I don't know how many times I said out loud, make mime music. I was like, what?
So for me, let's see. My
Yep.
list goes Fantasia, worse than Fantasia, worse than Snow White, worse than Pinocchio, worse than Dumbo, worse than Fun and Fancy Free, worse than Bambi. I'm going to put it sort of in the same place as you have it. I think it's better than the Latin American duo.
Yeah, because what's even though it's not great, what's there that I enjoy is still better than those two films.
Yes, I was disappointed in the lack of altitude discussion, but you
Right?
know,
How will
you
I
know,
know?
yeah. I mean, they were in Latin America in this one doing a samba. How? I don't, elevation is important in dance.
Elevation.
Uh, so there we go. We both agree that Melody Time is the third worst Disney movie of all time, based out of the 10 that we've seen now. So this is a top 10 list now that we have. So that's exciting.
It's the little bit of a spoiler, folks. Sludos and Three Caballeros may not budge
Yeah,
for a while.
these may live at the bottom for quite a long time, maybe in perpetuity. I'm really trying to think ahead, thinking of what's worse than Three Caballeros. like,
I've tried. It's like the thing of Disney movies I didn't like that much, and I was like, I still like it better than those two movies. So
yeah, because at least even even at its worst, even like trying to think of something that wouldn't upset people to like throw a little bit of shade at or something. But even something like
Oliver and Company.
yeah, Oliver and Company, which is not great, but it's at least a cohesive story and it's a classic story that people are familiar with and it's
Yeah.
cute and it has songs that you can remember and it gets to a point where we start having an emotional connection to it because we remember the McDonald's Christmas tree ornaments or whatever,
Which we will talk about in length.
Oh yes. Well, we're going to get to a point where we're going to be able to talk a lot about
Merch.
merchandise, which is what I'm always excited about.
Because we're children.
We're children. We're all well into adulthood, but yeah. But yeah. So next week, once again, we'll be covering the adventures of Ichabod Mr. Toad. I hope you join us. You can subscribe anywhere you get a podcast. It lives there. Tell your friends. I know I have
Just
been.
go to the Johnny podcast tree.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I'm going around town sprinkling podcasts across the nation,
Yep.
just like everyone else in this country.
Yep. It's yeah. It's like us and Chris Hardwick and whoever else.
Everyone over at the what with the I can't remember what
Max Fun.
Max Fun Network. Yeah,
Yeah.
the McElroy brothers and John Hodgman, Jordan Jesse Go. We're all just fighting for soil to till for our podcast trees. So,
Yeah.
but until then, I'd like to thank you all again for joining us. We'll be back next week and have a magical day.
Bye.
Hey, 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 ho, ho, ho. I don't know how to start this one. It's a Christmas special.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge.
Oh boy, that was
That's
terrifying.
perfect. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
The least scariest thing that's going to be talked about today. Yay!
That this is a very, very special episode of the Disney Compendium Annex 1. It is a this is not a Walt Disney Animation Studios release, but it's the holidays.
This one's for fun. This one's for me and you.
This one's for us. This is a Christmas present for us and you.
Yeah.
Mostly for us. This is the Disney studio proper doesn't have a Christmas movie, so
Unless you count Muppet Christmas Carol, maybe.
but that's not in Walt Disney Animation Studio, which is what we're covering right now. So there's no chance of like crossover. Like the closest we could have gotten was Ichabod and Mr. Toad for Halloween, or like maybe I don't know. I can't think.
What? Wait. So that Jim Carrey Scrooge one doesn't fall in that category?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But, yeah. No, the animation studio proper has no functioning Christmas movie, so you have to make your own fun sometimes. If Disney has taught you anything, and that's what this is. We're gonna do Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yay!
I love Mickey's Christmas Carol.
As do I. It is one of my favorite Disney things ever.
It's absolutely fantastic. Christmas Carol, probably one of the most filmed things of all time. And this is one of those things.
Yeah, the animated, well, not the animated debut of Scrooge, because I think he was in the opening credits of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes,
but like the first like real look at Scrooge the character.
Yeah,
Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge, not Ebenezer Scrooge. Scrooge McDuck, not. Yeah, this is an adaptation of Dickens' A Christmas Carol, obviously.
Obviously.
And boy, this is an ambitious crossover event.
Since the Avengers and this.
Yes, and this little known fact, and you didn't know this until I sent you the link to it, that this is actually an adaptation. It's not like an original thing for the most part. This isn't. They released in 1974 a record that was the Christmas Carol done with Disney characters.
Completely narrated by Scrooge, actually. Huh?
Completely narrated by Scrooge. Alan Young doing his Scrooge McDuck. It's great. It's mostly the same as this movie with a few different changes. Mostly ghosts. Ghosts of Christmas Yet to Be and the ghost of the present ghost are different. But other than that, wait, or do I have that wrong? It's the ghost of Christmas Yet to Be is one of the witch, and the old hag witch.
Yeah.
And the ghost of Christmas Past, that's right, was Merlin.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, Because the
because
Ghost
it's
of Christmas Future is Pete in the
Pete in
animated one.
this one, and the
Yeah,
ghost of the present is the giant in both.
yeah, it's both Willie and Marley's still Goofy.
Marley is still Goofy. It's Jiminy Cricket in this one, and it is Merlin in the record.
Yeah,
Um, Also, another significant thing about this one is that it is one of the very rare Mickey Mouse theatrical movies.
yeah.
This is probably the
It's it.
yeah. They're not many of them. There's not many Disney movies that feature Mickey Mouse. But and this one's not from the Walt Disney Animation Studio, but
But it should be.
it should be. It's um, but it should be, but it's not, unfortunately. But here it is. This is like at the when this came out in 1983.
So it's been like almost 10 years after the record was released.
Yeah, this would have been 30 years since Mickey had been in a theatrical thing, and uh, this was originally like issued with the Rescuers.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Um, uh, yeah, it was. Yeah, because they reissued the Rescuers in the
Right.
'80s, and
Yeah.
this was with it when they reissued the Rescuers.
Going
So
back to Disney ornaments, the Rescuers ornaments came out about the same time, right?
yes.
Um, but Mickey's Christmas Carol, like, okay, so for people who are younger than me and JJ, and maybe even
Yeah,
JJ's age, I don't know. The 1980s for kids' holiday specials, it was like the murderer's row. You
yeah,
had you had Charlie Brown, you had Garfield, you
yeah,
had the Wes Vinton claymation Christmas or Will Vinton, and you had this,
yeah,
and these were all like network primetime specials.
yeah. Yeah. Like to this day, like it's I you. This is probably like you see this one just as much as you see like the George C. Scott version on TV. Like
Which is
it,
also really good.
yeah. Well, most of them are. I mean, like
Yeah,
the
except for the
Muppet.
Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, the animated Jim Carrey one. Like,
The Patrick Stewart one's really good.
yeah, that made for TV Patrick Stewart one. There's
Yeah,
the Alistair Sim one, which is fantastic.
yeah. I keep wanting to see Alistair Smythe. It's like
That would be one hell of a Christmas Carol adaptation. Uh,
just
but and a Muppet Christmas Carol is another Disney property now, technically.
also fantastic.
Also, yeah, that's Muppet Christmas Carol. If it didn't have puppets, I think would be more well received. Like, I think Michael Caine does a pretty outstanding job as Scrooge, but
My the best way to say Michael Caine's name, by the way, I discovered, is just say my cocaine as slow as possible.
but
Say
yeah,
it.
no, I'm not going to. I'm not playing your game.
One of us is going to be professional.
Yes, I might as well start now. Uh,
And also, technically, since they own Star Wars now, it's the Star Wars Holiday Special under the Disney umbrella.
yes, it's the Kashyyyk Christmas Carol. uh, but um, yeah, it's fun to see this movie. Like, it's fun to see when the characters are actors in their own universe. Like,
Yeah,
it's not Mickey Mouse. He is still Bob Cratchit. It's just very much Mickey Mouse.
yeah,
Goofy is Jacob Marley. Jiminy Cricket is the ghost. Like, they're playing roles. It's like Super Mario Brothers 3, where it's like they're
yeah.
actors in their own play.
Donald's just Scrooge's cousin nephew Fred,
Yeah,
and and Donald's not an antagonist in any way, which is amazing.
yeah, yeah. It's fun. It's really fun to see them. play it this way. And I kind of wish they try from time to time, but they've never really succeeded um, in the way they succeeded here with sort of trying to use these characters to tell other stories.
Yeah, and the good news is this movie is super accessible. There's a Netflix right now
Yeah,
before Disney yanks it down.
yeah,
You have Mickey's House of Mouse Christmas, I think it is, or
yeah,
Once Upon a Christmas. This the whole film is sandwiched in between there.
yeah.
So
And I think it's been re-released on different compilations. Like,
yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. You have it on Blu-ray.
yeah, um, it's really, yeah, it's easy to get, and I think it should, like, it's a required Christmas movie. I feel
It
like
absolutely is. It absolutely is.
it's also nice to get a Christmas Carol that doesn't drag on. Like,
No, no,
it's a half hour. It tells the story competently.
and it's
Um,
memorable. It is super memorable.
yeah, it's like it may miss a couple emotional hits, but you still can't not feel emotion when you see little tiny Tim, baby Mickey Mouse, you know, doing his thing.
Or
Scrooge.
or 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 Mickey at the gravesite.
Yes. you
That
know
part always sticks with me.
yeah, it's so yeah, it's and this movie is fun because it has cameos in it. Like it's all like connected universe, kind of, as we were making the joke earlier, like, Avengers style. Like, Fezziwig is Mr. Toad. uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
you know
uh
and you see, like, when they're dancing around, like, you recognize characters from previous years movies that you haven't gotten around to yet, in the terms of the chronology of our podcast. But, like, you recognize characters from other movies just kind of dancing around, hanging out, doing their thing. You get
um, our old friend Bongo is actually in the Fezziwig scene.
yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Bongo, and I'm glad that he got a paycheck again from them.
Bongo was on his trampoline with his dumbbells,
Yeah.
just waiting to get booked.
and and the the people looking for the donations and stuff. You got
Yes, the characters from the Great Mouse Detective.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little deal, and I'm like, it, and it's really well. And it's funny because this was what did I say? 83.
83,
So
yeah.
not the greatest time for Disney animation.
But you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it watching this. Like, it's a gorgeous little piece. It's like you could tell, like, some heart went into it compared
Absolutely.
to some of the other stuff. Like I said, that this was attached with a re-release of The Rescuers. Um,
There,
so that was a big hit for them, but that was in the 70s. You know what I mean?
so I don't know if you have it the info in handy, but is was Don Bluth still working there when this was made?
Oh, let's see. Don
I
Bluth.
see some Don Bluthy looking stuff in this.
Let's
Oh, he
see.
did Black Cauldron, so yes, he was.
Yes, I was gonna say, yeah, because this was around the same time as Black Cauldron. So if he didn't, um, I don't know if he worked on the animation, but I'm sure him being at the studio, like, and being around, he would have been there. He probably would have had a hand on it. He's not credited necessarily
Yeah.
for it, but
The reason I asked is because of the flames at the end when Scrooge is falling into his grave. That
yeah,
looks like some Don Bluth, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, but let's just say, for for the sake of for completion's sake, I'm going to show you what the um, what was the same year that this came out, or around when this came out. So 77 was The Rescuers. That was a big hit. and that's
Right.
what this was attached to originally. That came out in '77. Um, Fox and the Hound was '81,
Also good. Yeah.
also good, but not a hit. Um, but also not a failure and
No.
not a particularly strong movie. And then The Black Cauldron in '85, which some people will live and die by The Black Cauldron, but that movie has some notorious production issues. Um, so and then The Great Mouse Detective. Like this is what we're working with in late '70s, early '80s,
Yeah.
and like you could make the play that this is better than a couple of those
All
that
of
are off.
all of those films, yes, you could.
Um,
Just
but
the writing's better.
the
If
writing's better.
you take the animation out of it, the writing is better.
Yeah. Um, it's fun to look at the Wikipedia page for this because it has like a releases section and it just shows like every individual release this movie ever had.
A billion, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it was just, and it shows you like when it aired on network TV and stuff at times, like in its early years and stuff. Like, um,
I believe it was
it,
ABC originally, right?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
no, no,
Or
NB,
CBS.
NBC. Did you say
NBC,
NBC?
really?
Yeah,
No, I said
NBC.
ABC. But
Yeah.
I think it could have been one of those things where like different networks picked it up as time went on.
It originally, its debut was with The Jungle Book in the UK.
Oh,
Was the short that went. It seems like that's a big. That is a big double feature. Like with either of these, whether it be The Rescuers or um, The Jungle Book, like I mean, this is over 30 minutes, and then you tack on full length animated feature after that. Like, and it's
yeah.
not really like like especially with The Rescuers. There's like thematically, there's nothing to tie them. Like it is a Christmas movie followed by this.
Yeah, this ran for an hour on television with commercials,
Yeah.
which is
Uh,
great because if you can find a VHS rip of
yeah.
it, you could get the old McDonald's like chicken nugget commercials.
Well, and like the TV versions had new. They would put because it has that the end Christmas Carol title
Yeah,
card, like hand drawn sepia tone title card. Like
right.
the TV runs have more of those in them.
Okay.
They put like they were like to bridge them and stuff for theater for bumpers for commercials and stuff. Um, and those are gorgeous.
Yeah, the Mickey's Christmas Carol will return.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just been released so many times over, and it's fantastic. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's so good.
it
It's
is
so
good. It is
and
amazing.
I kind of want to talk like you want to kind of talk about the movie, but it's also a Christmas Carol, so it's like how Christmas Carol goes.
You know how it goes.
Yeah,
You know how it goes. But there's a lot of stuff attached to this movie that you know. I would say without this movie, we probably wouldn't have gotten DuckTales, correct?
I think you probably still would have gotten Ducktales. I mean, the comics were popular enough.
Right. But still, I feel like this was like 4 years before DuckTales hit,
Yeah.
so maybe there's something there.
Here's a list of uh, uh, characters that appear in this movie.
Cool.
The Big Bad Wolf is collecting for charity.
Yep.
The Three Little Pigs are out about caroling.
Yep.
Lady Cluck from Robin Hood.
Where's Lady Cluck?
She is dancing with the secretary bird from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Okay.
This whole section right here is going to be Fezziwig's Party alone.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That's where they threw a lot of the cameos in.
yeah, Rabbit Children from Robin Hood.
Mind your manners.
Yeah, Uncle Waldo from the Aristocats. One of the Grandma Duck, one of the duck characters, Horace Horsecollar,
Yeah.
which is the horse from old Mickey Mouse shorts. Gus
Is that
Goose, which is another duck family member. The Badger from Ichabod Mr. Toad.
right?
Chippendale.
Chippendale. Yep.
So,
Daisy is Scrooge's love interest.
yes.
Yeah.
main character. Yeah, yeah. It's weird to think about that too.
It's like
Considering, yeah,
it's Daisy is Donald's love interest, and you just have
yeah. Is it also in the closing scene? You have Skippy Bunny and Toby Turtle, and Mother Rabbit
yeah,
and Grandma Owl from Robin Hood. You have
right.
Practical Pig from Three Little Pigs, and Cyril from Ichabod and Mr.
Yeah.
Toad. You got a pretty good group of cameo appearances in this movie. Like, and this was a time where Disney was reusing assets and stuff, so it made it
It'd be
helpful.
it'd be kind of fun to just go through the Fezziwig scene and like watch it like in slow motion and try to spot characters.
Yeah, yeah. Just it's very um, and and I guess on the DVD you couldn't tell originally, but on the DVD you can actually make out the tombstones, and they include Gladys Knight and the Pips, Bob Mills, and Warren Oates. So just like yeah, just some weird celebrity performers added to these tombstones because yeah, why not?
But yeah, like you said, like I want to talk about the story, but at the same time, like the story.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about it is like what we just said, like all these characters appearing
Yeah,
in these segments and stuff. Because like what can we say? Like by telling you the story, we're just going to be sitting here and reciting uh, a
Dickens
Christmas Carol.
Christmas.
Yeah, the Christmas Carol
I
audiobook by two people who have no business doing an audiobook.
no. Well, I mean, I think the difference is I feel like Scrooge's turnaround time for his Scrooge's redemption comes pretty quickly.
Yeah, he
He's like,
he
yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, like he gets fully panicked real quick in it. Like
Yeah.
he's pretty much already turned by the end of the first Ghost. Like he's ready to like I get it kind of by
You're
the
like,
end of
nah, dog. We got you booked for like
yeah
2 hours.
yeah. But then he wakes up and he thinks it's a dream, and then he realizes it wasn't a dream, and then he's back in the full panic mode.
And then here's a crazy part of this thing, which I didn't really notice till I watched it recently. Scrooge goes and like pays for a giant goose, right?
Yeah,
For the what is Scrooge?
yeah,
A giant goose.
yeah. I mean, look, the the hierarchy of animals in this universe where it makes has always made very little sense.
Yeah.
Like like one of the there's a joke that makes me laugh every time I see it, and it's in the Three Little Pigs short. They have a picture of their dad on the wall, and
Oh, the
it's just sausage.
sausage. Yeah, yeah,
And it's like, I mean, so clearly, like that's
yeah,
still going on in this universe. Like that's the joke is that their dad was slaughtered and made into sausage. Like, so that's still part of day to day life for these creatures.
this is the animals of Farthing Woods of Disney
Yeah,
films.
yeah. This is yeah. I mean, like there is a background like Watership Down situation going on in the background of all of these movies.
Yeah. I mean, but you kind of overlook it,
Yeah,
because if you're not like a insane person
yeah, yeah,
who nitpicks things he loves like I do,
yeah.
yeah,
Because it is like you know, Pluto is a dog and so is Goofy. So,
yeah,
but yeah, yeah, it is super weird because there's nothing you can do to change that. Like that is like what do you change the Christmas goose to? Like
yeah.
like I mean because
Christmas
also
ham.
like yeah like I mean, it's a duck, so like big loaf of bread that you found at the lake or something.
You're not supposed to feed bread to ducks, JJ. It's bad for their stomachs. Give them
Yeah,
pellets. Like
Yeah,
Scrooge just shows up.
yeah, don't throw.
Look, I brought you a honey baked ham. It's spiral cut.
But yeah, just like a duck confit kind of something. Um,
Also, like Goofy's corporeal, like, or sorry, uh, Goofy Marley is corporeal when he wants to be, and then when he's not,
so
he,
if you watch the or not watch, listen to the record, they all, with the exception of Scrooge, it's still Alan Young. It's all different voice voiceovers for it.
Mhm.
Uh, and the Goofy one is just real bad. Like Mickey Mouse, there's an attempt there. It's hard to mimic that Mickey Mouse thing if it's not your job to be Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Like, because like it was originally Walt, and then they had to change it, and when they changed it, it sort of it was trying to move away from Walt, but also maintaining Walt a little bit in a way, to the point where now it is just a high falsetto voice, and this person is just going straight to high falsetto without any training of what
Is it
else
so?
needs to be there.
So,
So
is it Bill Farmer or somebody else?
I don't know who's doing the voices on these records.
Okay, because
Um,
that's he's been the voice for Goofy for years, right?
yes,
Yeah.
um, but like the Goofy in this, it just, because the thing about Goofy is like it's like part like yokel, part uh, just you know like cartoon dog voice. It's like you mix
Yeah.
the two together. This one just goes straight for like country stereotypical Cletus the slack-jawed yokel kind of thing. It doesn't feel like Goofy. It just feels like it's a dim person. It kind of sucks.
So he's just doing like kind of a loose interpretation of Goofy.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy, Scrooge.
Oh,
I don't know.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm a ghost. Oh.
yeah. It's like, and they can't do like. There's no like, kind of like he tries, but
Yeah.
it sounds like, oh, I did it. It's just like
I,
it's like,
it is I, Goofy. Yuck.
yeah, yeah. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns casts the family to pretend to be Homer, Bart, or Homer, Marge, and Lisa.
Yeah.
Uh, he doesn't say Bo. He's
But oh,
yeah. Um, but yeah,
but no, like
it's so
this movie, so good.
so good, so fun, so um, uplifting. Like it's like you
Yeah,
just feel
you
happy watching it.
you do, you really do. And
Um,
for me and you, maybe it's because it reminds us of our childhood watching on
yeah. Oh
television.
yeah. It's hard, particularly with Disney stuff, not to watch it with like you can't take off the nostalgic glasses
No,
form, especially with something like this. Like in some of the most recent episodes that we've done of the main podcast, we don't really have, like, even with the nostalgia Disney glasses and the love for some of the shorts, like the package features were all bad.
yeah,
Um, and just like they're just real bummers. But like it's you can, when something's terrible, you can still sort of recognize it. It's like you can recognize it's like it's not great, but I still love it. Like this isn't that situation. This is great. It looks good. It's in a
it holds up.
yeah, it holds up real well. Period
What
pieces tend to hold up well enough too, so that it really helps its cause.
and just to kind of add further, credence to, it's not just us, being like nostalgic. My 6-year-old loves this cartoon, loves
Yeah,
it.
yeah. See, and yeah, it's easy to just pull it out and have it on for Christmas, and people will just, you don't intend to watch it, but you find yourself just watching it.
Yeah, because everybody has their favorite parts, and
Uh, in case you were curious, yes, it was nominated that year for Best Animated Short Subject, um, because it should have been. Now I have to go see who won that year. Um, Sunday in New York. Okay,
never
so
heard of it.
it was short subject animation is such a huge category that there's so
It,
much that comes out every year that a 4 minute movie from 1983 doesn't mean anything to either of us. So
no. But I feel like
uh,
that category's got become more refined as the years have gone on.
yeah, yeah. Uh, Siskel and Ebert hated it.
Well, I can't list. I can't tell you the number of things that I've disagreed with Siskel and Ebert on.
I hit like a problem Siskel had with it was it's called Mickey's A Christmas Carol, but it is not about Mickey Mouse. There's not a whole lot of Mickey in it. And
Yeah, Gene Siskel was a bit of a snob. Let's
yeah,
just call it what it is.
yeah, yeah. And it's a short subject thing, so it's kind of like trickier to. This wasn't released theatrically like a real movie. This was
No.
released as padding material for another movie, essentially. Um,
So was
but
this was preceded the George C. Scott version?
uh, I don't. Maybe. What year did George C. Scott one come out? I can
I
never
want to say
remember.
I want to say 86, 87, but I could be wrong.
Hear my mechanical keyboard just clacking away.
And you can hear my children yelling in the background.
He wants to watch Mickey's Christmas Carol. Can't blame him.
No,
1980,
he is
1984. So
still like a year after this.
yeah. So wow, I didn't realize it was that close to this one.
So like you wonder if people was like, more Scrooge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Although honestly, go watch both of them. They're both good.
Yeah, there's very few that you can watch that you could go wrong with. There's a couple. There's a couple like that are just like nah.
Jim Carrey.
Yes, yes. Jim Carrey, absolutely. Um, and there are other like, uh, was it like just a few years later they did another theatrical Mickey Mouse short, and I think that would have been his last one for a very long while. Because they did
Which
Prince of
was
Pop,
right. Okay.
and I can't really like without looking it up, and it's not. I can't think of. No, I don't think there's another one until I don't think there's another Mickey Mouse short before a movie for a while. I think the 90s. Like I think there was one in the 90s,
Has to be.
like late 90s, and then Get a Horse later on, but like not to this extent. Like those are like a few
No.
minutes. This is like Prince and the Pauper was almost a half hour. So
So you have this in 83. You have the George C. Scott one in 84, and then you have like Scrooged in 87, 88.
yes,
So it's just like that 5 year period.
just nothing but just all Scrooge all the time.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, a lot of and before this one, the last Mickey Mouse short in theaters was in 1953.
okay.
So
So I mean, we can't really rank this because it's not like what we're covering. This is again a bonus thing.
yeah, this is just a bonus, and this might like depending on how things look after we're done. There's plans when we're done doing all of the animation studio movies for other things, and got a couple of ideas: theme parks, shorts, live action, things like that. Like it's hard to loop back around and do these things. Like throw this into the shorts pile.
Yeah.
But like there are so many Mickey Mouse shorts that
We decided to do this one because it's Christmas time
Christmas
and
time.
and it's near and dear to our hearts, and
Yeah,
it's something fun for you guys.
yeah. So
Uh,
and I thought uh, like I said, I like to do. Obviously, the part of this for me is to share knowledge as well as maybe learn something myself about the studio that I know so much about. But
Yeah.
sometimes there are just some things that slip past you, like you know, uh, like with a case in point with this one, I had zero idea that this movie is adapted from basically a book on tape from the 70s. You know,
Which you discovered like 2 or 3 days ago. You sent
yeah,
me that link to YouTube. Yeah.
yeah. Like I was looking around and saw it mentioned on the Wikipedia page, and I was like, wait, what? It's like an adaptation of a 1973 storybook on records book. It's like, what? And sure enough, I had to look it up. I did a Google search, found it on YouTube. It's on YouTube in its entirety. Um,
So
definitely, definitely buying one. It's
the
actually got a storybook inside of it, like to read along with. So they did that a
so
lot with
so if we, so if we can
Disney records. There's like a lot of them have like books in the middle of them too.
yeah. This is so you just recently tracked down the Fantasia LP, and this is
Yes,
already on your radar.
yes. So yay.
So the legacy of this is what? DuckTales. Um, we got those really sweet Mickey's Christmas Carol action figures in the early
Yes,
2000s.
yes, we did. Um, I mean, the legacy for the most part is like really establishing like the Duck family going forward. Like
Yeah.
it was already an established family, and the comics were popular, and you know Donald Duck cartoons were massive. But like for like media, like non-print media, like this was like this finally established. Like you know, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are in it, and Donald and Scrooge, and they're not the characters from Ducktales, and they're not really the characters from the comics, but like you know, they're there, and you know, we're
I
just
mean,
a few years away from Disney Afternoon, so
yeah. I mean, Scrooge McDuck gets his name from Ebenezer Scrooge.
yeah,
That doesn't change. You know, he's
yeah,
still. I mean, he goes from Ebenezer Scrooge in this to Scrooge McDuck,
yeah.
or you know,
It's absolutely brilliant, and I guess would be to say like, yeah, why wouldn't you do this? Like, this is what you are known for as a studio, is adapting these old stories,
yeah.
and you have this one sort of built in, like you know, you have a Scrooge character already. Like Mickey Mouse is the perfect Cratchit, like just this white bread, uh, well, gee, sir, okay, sir, sorry, sir, kind of character.
We
Uh,
must thank Mr. Scrooge.
yeah, it's weird to see Mickey Mouse like family, like
Yeah.
Mickey with wife and children is it's weird in its own little way.
Except like in his case, so Minnie is obviously his wife, but like his children or like his nephews. We've seen the Mickey's nephews before.
Yeah,
So his
yeah,
nephew, yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah. It's like Huey, Dewey, and Louie kind of weirdness. Like, what is going on? Like, where's
I
I
I do want to
guess
talk about.
I guess it
I
really
do
is theoretically the animal kingdom. So I mean,
yeah.
anything could be happening.
I do want to talk about one of my favorite parts of this thing. I mentioned
Absolutely.
like the graveyard scene with like Scrooge falling in the pit.
Yeah.
Pete as the ghost of Christmas future, so good.
Very.
Like that cigar, like where you are, Ebenezer.
Um, there is one little like there's no like production stuff going on with this. It just you know is a good idea, and they ran with it.
Yeah,
Uh, it is the it was the first time in animation that Alan Young did the voice of Scrooge, and he was always the voice of Scrooge until he died a couple of years ago, like very recently.
like he was. I mean, he did it all the way up to Ducktales remastered, right?
Yes, yes. When they remade the DuckTales video game, he came back to do the voice work of Scrooge in that. And then he passed away before the new DuckTales could air. So,
David
um,
Tennant's doing a good job though.
doing a good
I
job.
like
I
it.
appreciate David Tennant's thing. This is also this is a Mickey Mouse cartoon that John Lasseter worked on.
Oh, okay.
At the city. That's the only time he ever worked on a Mickey Mouse cartoon, you know? And um, that's that's significant in its own little way, since he goes on to
to
be
run the place.
a very very big part of the Disney studio for various reasons, good
Yeah.
and very bad. But uh,
Is this so? Are we in the Michael Eisner era here, or
80s,
not
yeah,
quite?
yeah, we'd
Okay.
be by this point. So, because Eisner took over in probably around here. Let's see, Mikhail Eisner took over Disney CEO in. Da-da-da. You're not helping me here. 84, so he isn't. He comes in next year.
So we're still the Roy Jr.
Roy
era,
Miller.
or
Roy
Roy
Miller.
Miller?
So before, yeah. So we're still in the Roy Miller era, barely, but
He's on his way out the door, basically.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Ron Miller, not Roy. Ron Miller. Ron Miller is the
I thought for some reason I thought Roy Jr., but never
Roy
mind.
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy never got to take over the studio. Um,
He like was he kind of like their. You're right, because Roy was kind of like their. We're gonna trot him out there. He's a Disney member. He's
yeah,
a Disney family
and
member.
there's a fantastic book called Disney War that covers Michael Eisner's era of um, of Disney, leading up to it ends just before, like not too far away from him getting the boot, but the writing was on the wall by the end of the book.
Hmm.
At this point, Roy Disney had his internet campaign going to sort of like save the Disney company kind of stuff. But like, yeah, he had the nickname going around the studio as like the idiot's, son kind of thing. Like, the idiot son-in-law or brother-in-law kind of nonsense. That kind of, he was just idiot nephew, I guess is the right word I was thinking. So
Yeah, because he
yeah,
looks like his uncle.
yeah, he looks exactly like Roy. And like, but yeah, he yeah, he never really got his share, and we'll get to it later on, but like the one time he had his own project, things did not go well for him. So yeah, so we're not in the Michael Eisner era yet, so but we're almost there, and that's when the strings get tightened on here, and animation starts taking a hit, theme parks start taking a hit.
Which is weird because this is about the time took my first Disneyland trip too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah. But you know,
yeah,
Lasseter, this was his only Mickey Mouse cartoon that he worked on. And eventually he goes on to work for pretty much every major animation, Lucas, Pixar, Disney, take like the head of the departments kind of thing. So
I mean, like, hey, of all the things as far as standout pieces go, this is one of them. And
yeah,
again, we can't get. I mean, we're not gonna get too much into the story because again, it's the story.
yeah, it's a Christmas Carol. We can
It's
talk.
Christmas.
We talked about the things that are important to talk about, the bullet
Yeah,
points, characters and who plays who, and um,
this,
it's 25 minutes, I think, so 26 minutes. So
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, it moves at a good pace. You never feel tired. You never like feel like and you don't really wish it was longer either. I feel like it's perfect sort of.
No, if it'd been like maybe another 10 minutes, it would have been way too long.
Yeah, if they like tried to make it like an actual theatrical anything, like
You almost feel like it was cut in a way where it
yeah,
was like we want to be able to put shows on television.
yeah, we want to cut it in a way so we can shove commercials in it, make it a holiday special. It's like they want it to be. You could tell it was one of those things where this can, fit right alongside Peanuts, Charlie Brown Christmas, and Frosty, and
Garfield and
yeah,
yeah,
Rankin Bass specials and things. So like you could tell,
and it
like
does.
yeah,
It
yeah,
holds up.
it holds up really well. It's
Yeah.
this is for me the ideal sort of like Christmas movie. I always like the short subject Christmas stories. I think they're
Yeah,
always, you know, they're optimistic and fun, and they get increasingly dated, but I don't think this one gets dated too much.
it really doesn't. I
Yeah.
mean, if you get it like because it's been restored now a
Yes.
little bit, and the animation is really really good.
Oh yeah, it's very good, and it's we're in an era of yeah, we're not quite, we're barely in the era of digital. I think The Rescuers was one of their first real digital, like we used a computer to make animation kind of things.
Yeah,
So, and this was partnered with the thing. So it's like, we're still not quite at the full digital thing, but we're getting there.
yeah. Like I said, it's on Netflix, but I would absolutely go pick up a digital copy. There's a Blu-ray release with a digital copy floating around at Best Buy, Amazon for like
Yeah.
$7.
Oh yeah.
Go get it. Go get
It's
it.
not, it is not one of the because it's not the main studio, they don't vault these things as often.
Yeah.
So you tend to see things like these little, like Mickey's Christmas Carol and like holiday themed shorts, and
Ichabod's still easily available.
yeah. So like it's easily available, it's cheap, and I couldn't recommend it enough to watch
No, it's
during
it.
the holiday.
Honestly, we've been JD and I have been talking about some movies we've been less than enthusiastic about lately,
Yeah.
and this is a breath of fresh air for both of
Yeah.
us, I think.
Yes. When as we're recording this one, we haven't gotten to good movies yet.
Well,
And,
we've gotten past some good movies, but
yeah,
now we're in a stretch of some really not good
yeah,
movies.
yeah. This is being recorded in the stretch of the gauntlet of the package features. So
This is the Soul Gem.
yeah,
Uh,
but yes, it's such a breath of fresh air. It's like everything's there. It's cohesive. You know, like I wish this were in the middle of one of the,
right.
instead of Winter Wonderland, maybe shove Christmas Carol in there or something.
And it's 35 years old now.
Yeah, I mean
30 and
80, yeah,
80
83. So
and holds up.
yeah,
Holds up, absolutely holds up.
and like I said earlier, it's because it's not. It doesn't try to be contemporary.
No.
Like
No.
the Bill Murray Scrooged movie is a fine little movie, but it doesn't hold up because it was contemporary of its time.
It's an 80s film.
Yeah,
I would say like it's like Christmas Story in that
yeah,
sense where
yeah,
it's nostalgic and it's
yeah.
like of a period.
Yeah, there's one, like when you make a movie that's based off of a time that's come and gone, like even A
Yeah.
Christmas Story, when it came out, it was already just looking like it was looking back with nostalgia glasses at a time that's come and gone. Like that's when it plays better. Um,
Yeah.
but when it's just contemporary, it takes place in the time where the movie came out. You're like, it feels weird. Like I get it. That's 1985 or whatever. But or
Scrooge is like Wall Street of Christmas movies.
exactly. But at least it doesn't like you don't want to start a movie off in like the like. Don't ever start a movie that says present day, because then in like 30 years, present day doesn't mean anything.
And not that I don't like Scrooge because I absolutely do.
Yeah,
It's
but
Lee Majors.
yeah, it dates itself, and
It does.
like this movie does not date itself. This movie
No.
could have been made in 1983, could have been made in 2003, it could have been made in 1948, and it would have been the exact same movie.
Yeah.
So
I think it's amazing how well it turned out considering the troubles you've kind of
yeah,
described, like how
yeah,
it succeeded in spite of itself.
yeah. I mean, we're post Walt. Ron Miller's about to be out the door, and the studio's been having production problem after production problem, and money's not coming in like it used to. Disney World is open, so now they're operating 2 theme parks. You know,
Yeah.
it's a strange time for the studio, and um,
You could argue this might be their best work of the 80s.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
animated. You could
yeah,
argue it might be their best animated
yeah.
work.
I mean, like, you know, Little Mermaid's a great movie, but
Okay, that's right. I thought Little Mermaid was 90, but you're right. 89, 89 Little Mermaid, 90 Beauty and the Beast. Right, gotcha.
yeah, I mean, and like the best stuff they were doing at the studio in the '80s would have been televised anything, anyways. So in short subjects and stuff. So live action things that they were working on for television and stuff like the
Mr.
studio.
Boogedy on
Yes, yes,
Soldier Boy.
Mr. Boogedy, a failed pilot, and then Bride of Boogedy, the sequel that was also a failed pilot.
God. Dark times, my friends. Dark
Dark time.
times.
Yeah, Disney was trying to figure out every angle they could come from to make a movie, to make
Yeah.
money.
And which turns out like the best wonderful world of Disney's during this period was like, we're just going to show you Alice in Wonderland or Robin Hood.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's
And
some stuff we know is good.
yeah, and then you trot out Michael Eisner trying to pretend like he's Walt Disney, and that dude ain't Walt Disney.
The story of Alice in Wonderland is a good one about a little girl. She goes into a mirror. Some teacups. I don't know.
I saw because it's funny that you brought up Boogedy because I actually like, man, you remember Boogedy? And I like YouTubed it and I found a video of somebody reviewing it.
Of
And it
course I
showed,
do.
and it showed like uh, his introduction to it, and it was the silliest thing. It's like ghosts taking over his office, and stuff. It's just like, oh man, and he's trying so hard, and he's so bad at
You you get the impression like back in the day, Reggie was working at Pizza Hut. I was like, hey, this guy's on the ball.
it.
I'm stealing some ideas. Reggie Fils is, by the way, from Nintendo
Yes,
America. What we're talking about.
a fun Nintendo joke for all the Disney fans out there. Hey, there was some
Hey,
great Nintendo Disney stuff. So
there's crossover appeal on both ends here, so we're not the only two in the world.
we oh I was about to say we didn't make a wrestling joke, but I think you made a Hulk Hogan joke earlier, so Ultimate Warrior joke earlier, so we're good.
Oh yes, pulling the planet of a nosedive. Yeah,
There you
Hulk Hogan.
go. So yeah, we covered all the bases. We if there was a Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol breakfast cereal, we'd be all good to go.
Oh gosh. Well, we got, like I said, we got those sweet action figures,
Yeah,
which I still have Scrooge. I still have my Scrooge floating around somewhere.
I'm
I'm sure you had the whole. I'm sure you had the whole set.
I'm certain they're somewhere in a storage somewhere. I can't fit everything that exists that I have in my collections.
But yeah, the good news is this is one of the few things we've talked about lately. That's aside from we talked about Melody Time, which is available on archive.org. Seek it out if you want, I guess. But this one is on Netflix right now.
Yeah, right now, high
Just tell you go
definition.
watch it. Go watch it.
Yeah. So it's by the time if you're listening to this podcast when I drop it, then like you've got a couple of days to listen to it and still be knowledgeable.
Oh no! Like go ahead and Chromecast this to your television and gather the family around on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Listen to these two guys ramble about Disney stuff and make
Exactly.
wrestling and
like
Nintendo references.
Yeah, Spotify. Go sign up. Get listen to me on Spotify. Listen to us. You can listen to your weekly playlist and then us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely love this movie, and
Me too.
I will. We're not want. It's just now. We're not at Christmas yet when we're recording this, but I will watch it again right at Christmas time. So.
I guarantee you, maybe not this evening, but you and I will probably watch at least once or twice before Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, everyone, I'd like to thank you again for joining us. It was fun to talk about a good movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And just keep subscribing, keep listening. I've been loving it. I've been loving talking to people about it. People are liking it. So
yeah, we have people watching enjoy the show.
Yeah. I don't know what these special editions, these annexes are going to hold in the future, but I'm sure we'll find some one-offs to talk about once in a while when they get thematically appropriate. Like I think this is good for holiday things and stuff.
Well, just once in a while, like Herbie goes bananas.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
The black hole.
Oh heck yeah, I could talk about some black hole right now. We're gonna pause this. We're gonna go watch the black hole, and then we're gonna talk about
Black
the black
hole.
hole.
Because you asked for the devil of Max Devlin.
But you know what? That's in the future. This is
Yeah,
Christmas now, and we're talking about a Christmas movie and one of the better ones. So
Christmas time is here.
Christmas time
Happiness and
is
cheer.
here. Happiness and cheer. Ancient time, ancient rhymes. That's right. But until we meet again, I'd like to thank you again for joining us, and have a magical day.
Yeah. Bye.